My name is Jenna Widdecombe. I'm a third-year student studying Criminology and Criminal Justice Studies at Plymouth University. I'm based with Plymouth Anti-Social Behaviour Unit, and mainly I shadow them in the Plymouth Magistrates in the city centre or at the office behind me. I engage with all members of the team. It's not only there's 4 anti-social behaviour officers, there's also members of the Devon and Cornwall Police Constabulary. It's very good because you not only get opportunities with that organisation, but you get to meet people from a broad range of agencies, and therefore you can ask them questions. They're all very helpful, provide you with lots of information. The main activities involve going down to the Plymouth Magistrates and just shadowing and observing the court cases. That's really important because you also get to meet the victims in the victims witness area. So it's good to see it from both perspectives, sort of in the court proceedings and then in the victim support aspect as well. Also attend like most agency meetings, get to meet people from Devon and Cornwall Constabulary, social services, housing agencies, so you get to meet people from a wide range of agencies. I thought it would be very different than what it is, from what you read in the newspapers and sort of the lectures that you attend. You get quite a clear idea of how you think the organisation will work and what sort of roles they will fulfil. Then actually when you visit them and realise in practice, like with this anti-social behaviour unit, it was actually very different. They work very differently from how I expected that they would. I thought they would mainly be dealing with sort of young people causing problems to local communities, but in fact there's such a wide range of offenders that they deal with, all ages, all genders, for example. And they don't actually deal with the offenders themselves. They mainly focus on the public and the victim perspective. So they have very limited contact with the actual offenders themselves, apart from if it's in the court proceedings. The university provide us with a wide amount of information, not only sort of information on how we should fill out the application forms and CIB checks. There's also a module leader which provides you with a lot of information about this course, sort of information about how you should conduct yourself when approaching the agency, and then how you should conduct yourself when you're on your placement.
My name is John Drury and I manage the Plymouth City Council's Anti-Social Behaviour Unit. Plymouth City Council is the local authority for Plymouth City. As a workplace provider, it's been relatively easy. There's very little bureaucracy attached to it in terms of that and the red tape. In terms of the students, we've always found that they've been very, very good, been very well motivated. Their minds are very kept open, and that's a really good requirement. And they're able to see their subject from a much different angle to what they're used to. You'll see what's happening in reality and how that affects victims and how that affects perpetrators, and how things that they've learned in theory are played out in practice. And we found that that's our experience is that they are very open to having different influences and actually using that in their learning. One particular individual I decided to do a dissertation, and I decided on the emphasis of that. She spent 1 hour with us and decided to change her emphasis completely. So it's a really good example of where they're coming from. But they're generally very well motivated. Behaviour's never been a problem. Well, we are the Anti-Social Behaviour Unit after all, so we'll be able to deal with anything that's not right. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. What happens is that we're able to get very often a young person's viewpoint of the way that we do things, which is always useful because yes, antisocial behaviour is very much perpetrated by adults mainly. But where we have young people involved in antisocial behaviour, just having a young person's view is actually very, very helpful to us in terms of our learning. I would have no hesitation in advocating having workplace students in organisations. The process is relatively easy, the relationships are very, very easy, and it can only be a good thing for students to really get a handle on theory, but also seeing that in practice and actually having that learning and taking that rounded learning back with them. What I would say for students as well is that it will help them enormously because they've got the theory, because they've got that work-based practice behind them. When they're going for jobs, when they're applying for jobs and doing interviews, they can actually talk and articulate about what they know and what their experiences are with a great deal more clarity and a bit more confidence because they've seen it in practice, and because they've seen it in a way that is using real life people, witnesses and victims, then it has a great deal more credibility. So it's good for organisations to open up their doors for students, because they could come back in through the door with as applicants.
I think the most important thing it provides you with is confidence, because it's very intimidating as a student to sort of go into a professional setting, whereas this opportunity definitely provides you with the opportunity to sort of demonstrate your skills professionally, improve your communication skills and your confidence when working with people who work within the criminal justice system. I would suggest it to anybody, most definitely. I think it's refreshing to sort of do something different and get out of the lecture theatres and just to try something new, and it really does sort of help to build your confidence. The best thing I would say is just real practical experience, because I'd never done anything like this before, so I did find it quite challenging and quite intimidating, the thought of going into a professional workplace. However, everyone was really welcoming, really helpful, and I think it would just help me with future goals when I'm entering an agency again, just to feel more at ease with the whole process.